What up, world? It's been Dream with Dream Motivates. Listen, once again, I'm just happy that I can still co-pilot this amazing podcast because what I'm doing is taking notes and I'm learning every episode. I hope you guys are doing the exact same thing. We have a special guest in the building. My big brother, the Money Man, is in the building. Y'all stay tuned. Check it out.
Welcome to the Level Up Alliance podcast. My name is Dee Garrett, Level Up Alliance, where we empower you to become leader of your family legacy. And today I am joined by my co-host, Dream Motivate.
Hey.
And we have a special guest today, Jason Grimes.
Jay Grimes in the building.
Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely.
Listen, I'm jealous.
I heard his time.
I'm jealous.
He don't play with.
I'm jealous.
Here he go.
Jealous.
Here he go.
I have asked him so many times. He's so busy. And I see him at the gym all the time though.
He work out. I
we
can
always
see.
at the gym. and I'm like, hey, and I guess I caught him on the right day. And super thankful for you having your presence here, big bro. Appreciate you being here.
I appreciate y'all having me. Thank y'all for having me. Thank y'all for having me.
Let's dive in, man. We got Jay Grimes in the building.
Come on, man.
The $1 million man.
Come on, we here.
Yeah.
You know.
Doing the big. So, Jay, right now in this podcast, we just want to bridge alliances with people that are in the same sector where we get to learn, understand finances, and just plainly level up. And if there's one brother I know that I've seen level all the way up in the past, last time I seen, we was in the office. I think I seen bro in 2019 here at the same spot. And now he's just rocket up out of here. Just a really dope, husband, amazing father, just a good dude all the way around. But when it comes to this bread, you know what I'm saying? My man don't play no games. So let's dive into it.
Sounds good.
So in this 2025 calendar year, Jay Grimes, could you just let us know how you got started and where you are now as far as your business so everybody can understand who exactly we got on this podcast?
Absolutely. So first off, thank you guys for having me. As you stated, my name is Jason Grimes of the Grimes Lending Group. So my base, my everything, my heart is in lending, right? I started out in mortgage in 2011. I'm still in it, but, kind of expanded the business where it's not just residential real estate anymore. Stumble upon it just like everybody else. I don't think anybody goes to college or who wakes up one morning like, man, I want to be in mortgages.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's kind of presented to you, And so, long story short, my older brother and I, we had a business on South Beach back in the last recession. You caught how I said last recession, meaning there's another one coming, but we'll get to that later.
I heard that. Yeah, definitely break that down.
We'll get to that later. But we lost everything. Business closed down. So I called one of my fraternity brothers and I said, hey, man, I got to get back to Georgia. Right. And he hooked me up and some things along those lines. I was able to get back to Georgia for about a year, got an opportunity back here in Dallas, and was able to get into the mortgage space. And I've been in it ever since. And for the first probably 6 years of my career, I did everything possible to get out of it.
Oh, wow.
Everything possible. I resumes, taking classes. I started looking at the LSAT. Like, I'm going to be a lawyer. Wow. I wanted to get out of the business.
Really?
I wanted nothing to do with the business. I hated every bit of it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because I worked for the big banks. And so every time I would try to leave, something would happen. And I'm a firm believer that when the Lord is talking to you, you better open up and you better listen. And so I said, okay, I got to make do with what I have. So I locked in and took the time to actually take it from being a job to a learning opportunity.
Yeah, that's
You know
good.
what I mean? I started thinking of it as paid training.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying?
Flipped
Like
it.
these folks are paying me in order to learn something that I was never taught.
Yeah.
And guess what? Nobody in my family was ever taught.
Wow.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so when I took that approach to it, that's when everything turned up.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because once I started understanding that, hey, this is the key to the world.
Yeah.
And now, you know, I'm the person in the family, even though I'm the baby boy in the family. I'm, you know, at the family reunions, the family gatherings, I'm talking to you about how to get out your situation. You know, when you're calling me and saying, hey, can I hold a couple of dollars? You about to get this lecture. You dig what I'm saying? You know, that's what's coming along with it, right?
So I get
it's
this financial literacy course.
like and it became a part of my identity. And you know, I'm so passionate about it now because I thought, you know, not that I thought. When I first came into the business, you know, I was told that I speak too aggressive. You know, I have to tone it down a little bit. You know, don't show your tattoos. Take your earrings out.
Wow.
Shave all your facial hair off. Wear a tie.
That's
The
crazy.
And I
corporate
said,
look.
if I gotta do it like that, I don't want to do it.
Period.
Right? And so I found a way to do it my way. It was damn sure it was a lot harder to do it my way,
Well.
but you appreciate it a lot more when you go your own path.
What would you advise people? We had this. I might as well ask Jason Grimes. I would love to hear his because he's in creative lending at this point. He does
Okay.
a lot of creative stuff.
For sure.
Okay.
So we had a question we asked the guest prior to you. Jason Grimes bought a house in 2019 in Dallas Fort Worth, and
Which
the
I did.
house, yeah. Oh, okay. All right, and the house now is worth $700,000. You bought it for $500,000 in 2019, so you already know what happened between then and now.
Right.
What is Jason Grimes going to do with the equity that's in the house?
Oh man. I mean, it depends on Jason Grimes or whoever scenario it is, right? So let's say, hypothetically speaking, times have gotten rough over the last couple of years.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Some layoffs, some, you know, whatever, right? You have a piggy bank. Your house is the piggy bank.
Period.
Yeah.
That's the piggy bank. You know what I mean? And unlike a piggy bank when you're a kid where you got to break it on the ground to get your money out,
Yeah.
you don't necessarily have to do that with your home. You still can hold on to your home and pull some of that money out, right? So I'm the biggest equity advocate that you probably will ever see.
Okay.
Like my social media is up and down. I know people get tired of me talking about it, but it's the most important thing you could possibly have, right? Because that money that you're sitting on, you're able to clear up some consumer debt, right? If you have it. Two, which is the part I like the most, is pull that money out and use it to go create a business, learn a skill, build a business.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's going to be able to make you some more income, right? Because you can sit there and brag about, let's say you bought your house, you know, just to kind of tailor it a little bit. You bought your house for $350 back in 2019, and now it's worth $750,000.
Man.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
You're sitting on a ton of money,
Yeah.
right? But it don't mean jack if you don't do anything with it.
Facts.
Right.
That part.
It's monopoly money.
It is.
It's monopoly money. So if you're sitting there, one day it's here, next day is gone.
Yeah,
right. You know, right? So it's one of those things where you have to be able to act. If you sit there and twirl your thumbs and, oh man, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that, you're gonna end up losing.
Right.
Take the time to understand what your goal is and what the next steps are,
Yes.
and be able to lock in on that and pull yourself out of debt. But most importantly, find a way to use that money in order to make you some more money.
Which
Revenue
program would you
generating.
use from the lending perspective?
Oh man, you have so many, right? So for instance, if you were one of those people that got like a 2.7% interest rate, ideally you don't want to lose that interest rate.
That's the same thing Charlamagne said
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's in the
It's-
same
we're all on the same
alignment. We are right where we at.
But you don't want to lose that interest rate, but some people need to lose that interest rate. And I'll tell you why. First course of action is if you can go get a home equity line of credit.
Yes.
If you can go get a line of credit against your home, that ain't nothing but a credit card. And you don't pay a dime on it unless you pull from it.
Yep.
Right? But you got to have the best credit. You need to be you gotta have the most equity. It's a lot of things that go into that.
Right.
Yeah.
You have
So
to qualify for it.
that's the top. That's the top pillar.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Then we have the home equity loan, where they give you a lump sum of money and it's just like, here, boom, and you're paying on that. Right. The interest rate is going to be a little bit higher, so on and so forth. But if you're paying 25% on credit cards and all that, please don't talk to me about 8.5% interest rate or 8%
Right.
interest
Now,
rate. Stop
please.
playing with me.
Right. Right. Man.
Find you something safe.
Make
to
it
do.
make sense.
Make it make sense.
Yeah.
Right. Then third option, if you down bad, you didn't let your credit score slip a little bit. You got into the 600s. You know, you have a couple of more blemishes on your credit. Right. Your debt to income ratio is tight. You may have to get rid of that 2.7% interest rate. It is what it is.
And do what?
Huh?
And
And
do
do
what?
a cash out refinance. And that's going to give you some
Reset.
cash out. It's going to give you a reset, give you some cash out. It's going to pay off your current loan. And now you have a whole new loan. You have a whole new mortgage payment, all that good stuff. But that's why you have to be so smart about what you're doing with that money. Because a lot of people say they're going to do, I'm going to pay off these debts. I'm about to start a business. I'm about to do all that. Then 200 grand hit their account. And they never seen 200 grand before. Now what they do?
Oh, wow.
I seen that new truck.
Man.
Yeah.
Man, I seen that new watch.
Right.
Man, and now, you know, after they dwindled away 150 grand on frivolous stuff,
Yeah.
traveling, all that good stuff, because they acting like it's free money. Now they're sitting here with 50 grand. They haven't paid off their debt. They haven't started the business. They haven't done
Man.
anything with it. So now you're down bad again. Because a lot of times it's not a lack of money. It's a lack of knowledge.
That part.
Oh, there you
Gotta
go.
be a wise steward.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to be.
I
And
love
so, how often do you use, or do you know people that use hard money? I would love to see how this goes, because I think that's going to be a great, because I want to learn more about the best ways to use this product.
Yeah.
Hard money is called hard money for a reason.
Yes.
And the people that understand hard money and understand how it works, they're not emotional about it.
That part.
Because you know wherever you're about to go spend that money, you're about to make that much more money off of it. But the people that have the hardest time with hard money are the new investors. And it's so cute. It's so cute. It's so cute. Because they go in making these demands for these hard money people. I'm just like, guys, it's called hard money, not soft money.
Yeah.
Because they telling you like, hey, no, my money, my rules.
That's
oh,
it.
well, you know, Bank of
Yeah, right.
America said, you know, Wells Fargo said hard money don't care. Because they know you need that hard money. You need that quick money
you need
now.
That quick money.
Yeah. And, you know, and you have to be able to have a real entry and a real exit.
Facts.
Quick, too.
Quick.
Yeah.
Because that will climb up your back quick, fast,
Yeah.
in a hurry.
Yeah.
But it's a great tool for people that are trying to get to the next level and trying to build.
Yes.
Right? It's something that's needed. I've never, you know, I've seen some T-shirts and stuff that's been going around. Dope sell itself.
Oh, yeah.
Money sells itself. Because people always want that money.
I told her, I said, from now on, when you walk in the room, I want you to let people know I'm the money lady.
Money lady.
If you just tell people the money lady, they figure out your name later.
You understand? I mean, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Because when and I always tell, like, you know, new loan officers, new realtors, whatever the case may be, you know, don't go into nobody's networking event or, hey, you know, I'm a realtor, I'm a loan officer, and man, look, I get your money.
Period.
I make dreams happen.
That's how you need to talk.
I'll take that.
That's
You
how
know
you
what I
need
mean?
to
I'll take it.
And when you believe it,
Yeah.
everybody else will.
That's correct.
Okay. I love that.
That's correct.
For sure.
You the money lady. And so,
Noted.
because she literally is. She
That- for sure.
She got some cold. Tell Jay Grimes that one program you was talking about on episode 1. Maybe you was saying that there was a company that you was talking about that literally does all the check boxes off. They'll walk you through a lending process.
Well, no, it's basically an application process as far as for the hard money. As far as shameless plug, it's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing shameless about that.
Yeah,
Right.
so it's basically just going through the checklist of all of your documents needed for consideration when it comes to that private lending. So going back to your operating agreement for your LLC, because oftentimes people are most investors are doing this business in the name of their LLC, not their personal.
For sure.
And then you want to make sure that the articles of organization have been filed with the Secretary of State. We want to make sure you're a legitimate business, that you have the financials to even have some of that other cost, because even though we're funding, you still need carrying costs and other front end costs to make sure that, we want to see that you have that money in the bank for however long to hold those contractors up front before you get your first draw, because it's not give me the money, then I do the work. No, it's do the work, then you get the money.
Gotcha.
So there's proof of work being done before you can actually get a draw on the loan itself. But so the financials, and then we mentioned the scope of work. So yeah, there's a checklist of things that we go through to just position a package to put in front of the lenders, and so that's what I do.
Jay Grimes, how often? I mean, because I know you behind the desk with it. Are you out there, doing some flips right now? Are you kind of getting your hands dirty with some investment properties?
Yeah. Yes and no. Right. We've done it before. Right now, the margins are really thin on certain things.
See,
right?
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
It ain't like 2019.
Yeah,
No.
but the margins are super thin right now, but they're not going to be like that forever, right? Because people don't catch up to times quick enough, right?
Yeah.
People are still trying to get off of properties for 2021 and 2022 prices. They haven't felt the pain enough, especially in DFW, right? So when you're going in for a flip, when you're going in for to purchase some land for develop and all that good stuff, right? You have to have your target point or where you want to be able to get in in order for it to make sense, right? And you got to take in consideration your time and all that good stuff. So the margin that you have, if a deal comes across my table, please don't get it twisted. I'm taking it all day long.
It got to be the right deal.
It got to be the right deal.
Yeah. Numbers have to make sense.
The numbers have to make sense.
What's the right deal? Give us like a good scenario. Came across your desk in Dallas Fort Worth. It came to Jay Grimes. Jay Grimes said, "Yep, I'm taking that deal for myself." What does it look like?
Oh man, someone that has a property that, could be a teardown, and it's over off Marcellus. You know what I mean? In South Dallas. And
I just, bro, you said the podcast. I just said the other day. Like,
overall Marcellus, man, because all the new construction and all the stuff that I know they're doing there.
Yep, and they set the comps over there.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Set.
So now what I would be looking at is someone that is being realistic about what they want for the property, right? I just posted a video on social media, and it's talk about negotiation. Right. And I never want anybody to feel screwed when they walk away from negotiating with me.
Yeah.
The best negotiation when both parties feel like they've won.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But I got to make it make sense because I'm not that nice of a guy where I'm just going to let you screw me.
Yeah. Period.
You know what I mean? So you have to, depending on if you're doing a tear down and you want to develop from the bottom up, you know what I mean? Depends on what neighborhood over there. I mean, that's a very general question, right? But if you can get in for 60% of what the actual going rate is, if you can get in for 60% or less, that's a good deal.
Win.
That's a win.
You just got to factor in properties that he's saying, because that's the play right now. Factor in demo costs, because you really don't care. I mean, the house is out of there anyway. But it's literally sitting next to this Taj Mahal house that just got built in 2022.
Wow.
And it'll blow your mind. So she's new from. When you roll over there, you're gonna be like, "This is crazy."
What?
Crazy.
So somebody, auntie or grandmama, or somebody house that you might have to call a couple of people and find out who house this. You might have to do some,
wow,
and then break bread with somebody that's an heir that's in jail. I've had to deal with that.
Oh yeah.
wow,
Yeah,
you on the jail call, like, hey man, like,
hey, if
we send you these documents. We need to go ahead and get that signed.
because he's an heir.
Yep.
yeah.
So the house is there, and it's 4 kids. We got the other 3. We breaking them off. Uncle JoJo, he up in
Wow.
It's always Uncle
Loose
JoJo.
Derek.
Crazy.
It's always Uncle JoJo.
Yeah, he up in Loose Derek. He's just like, look, give me $5,000 on my books. I'm good here, bro.
Look,
Sign the paper.
that's real talk. I didn't even think about that perspective.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I've been through that right there. But
Wow.
once again, creative. Now I want to hear from you too, bro. The creative finance part. What do you experience right now? Like, give us like. I know. Congratulations, you got finished doing a couple of $1 million deals yourself. But
All
Oh,
right,
yeah.
congrats.
For sure. Thank you.
how is that? Like you say, because you're in the creative space now.
For
What does
sure.
that look like?
So I deal with a lot of self-employed entrepreneurs, right? That have a lot of money or a lot of cash flow coming in, but when it comes to the government, they just like, whoa, I'm not trying to pay that tax bill. They're taking advantage of all of their write-offs as they should, right? I mean, it's the perks of being a business owner. That's the American dream.
Yeah.
Right? So they come to me and they're like, look, this is what I want to do. I'm like, all right, so here's the thing. Let's look at your tax returns. Let's set up a call with your CPA, your tax preparer, whatever the case may be. If you show all the income you need to show and don't take deductions, this is what your tax bill is going to be. It's like a $90,000, $100,000, $200,000 check I have to write to the IRS. I'm like, or we could take a look at your bank statements.
Yes, sir.
12 months, 24 months.
Yep.
We could take a look just at your P&L. Right? We could take a look at if you're a truck driver, you're a nurse, traveling nurse, whatever. We could just use just your 1099s. Now, those interest rates may be, a percent,
Yeah.
percent and a half higher.
Who cares though?
But if you're looking at a $200, maybe $250, $300 more on your payment each month,
Right.
in comparisons to you writing the check to Uncle Sam,
Man.
stop playing with me.
Yeah.
Right? And so with all these programs, it's for those people that really understand it. I mean, you have investment deals. If you can get a good enough deal on a property, man, I got a no income, no doc. As long as you got a 680 credit score, you got 20% to put down.
Let's
go.
do it.
And 6 months of reserve. And 6 months of reserves.
Yeah.
Seriously. And your interest rate is going to be about 1% to 1.5% higher than the prime rate.
Now, you mentioned reserves. Now, when it's talking about reserves, is it specific to that particular project or is it their portfolio?
Portfolio.
6 months reserves of their entire portfolio.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about, it could be a 401k, it could be an IRA, it could be a life insurance policy. I mean, it's so many different things that can be used for that, right?
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, because a lot of people ain't just sitting on some stacks like that.
Yeah.
They got their money making money.
Diversified.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
sure.
I wanna kind of cartoon what my brother just said, because he just dropped the bar, and I hope y'all didn't miss it.
All right, guys, this is Jason Grimes with the Grimes Group, Grimes Lending Group as well. We're everything real estate. Whether you're buying, selling, needing lending for residential, commercial properties, or land, we got you. We're a company that stands on morals and ethics. We want to make sure that you get what you need in a timely manner and make sure you understand what you're getting yourself into. Would love to do business with you. Would love to help. You can find us at my personal Instagram is the Urban Lender. And you can reach out to us via text or phone call at 404-895-1968. Give us 24 hours and we'll make sure we get back in contact with you. Back to the episode.
Welcome back to the Level Up Alliance podcast. It's your boy in the building, Dream Motivates. We got D. Garrett in here and Jay Grimes breaking it all the way down, how we can kind of get creative into spending your money wisely. Jay Grimes says a lot of people just got their money sitting in the bank.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they need to level it up.
Yeah, okay.
It's just sitting there.
Level
And
it
it's just, there's just, I literally had a partner of mine told me he just likes to look at it.
Yeah.
What?
That's a poverty mindset.
I said, what? He's like, yeah, I just like to see it. So when it goes down a level, man, it make me feel some type of way. I was like, bro, you know what? I don't want to talk to you no more.
Yeah.
Because you tripping. So I want y'all to, because you got hard money, you got traditional lending. Somebody has $100,000 sitting in the bank. I'm going to start with you, D. Garrett. What is the best thing would you advise for them to level up?
Well, first I want to know where they are in their financial plan and journey. But most times, based on where they are with their diversification, if they don't have a personal protection in place for their assets, then it's going to be life insurance. I'm going to say, okay, well, now that you have all these assets, you want to make sure that you keep them in your family and continue that legacy, right? And so you want to protect those assets. And so with that cash, you can actually put that cash into a life insurance policy that is a cash value based life insurance policy.
Now, how can they use that? Like,
And so, well, they have to qualify to get the life insurance. If they don't qualify for life insurance, another alternative could be maybe a fixed index annuity, which is more financial based versus health based. Now, all they would have to do is basically, depending on the product, they could just call their particular insurance company and just fill out a policy loan request. And that money can be available in 24 to 48 hours, depending on the lender, depending on the insurance company. But yeah, it's that simple. You just have to apply for a loan, but it's your money. And so,
gotcha.
yeah, you have control of it.
And Jay Grimes, so you started in 2011.
Yes.
Now we're here at 2025. Shout out to the stability, my brother. Shout out to that.
All right,
I appreciate it.
yeah.
I appreciate it.
And without saying too much, my brother's been around the block a couple times, so he's gonna see a couple things.
Right on.
So $100,000 today, you're looking at somebody, you're sitting across the table, and they're actually your really good friend. Like, this is your bro. What are you gonna tell them to do?
Okay. And it's so funny that you say that. I actually have a best friend of mine that is sitting on a lot of cash right now, and I'm waiting for him to get back to the States because he said he needs to sit down and talk to me and get it figured out. Right.
Wow.
And he's in the most ideal situation. He doesn't have any debt.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
He doesn't have any debt. He likes looking at his money in the bank, like you told me about your boy, right? But that's a scarcity mindset, right?
Correct.
If you ever been poor before, you ever been broke before, I have a couple of times.
Me too.
Yeah.
Right?
Me too.
You like to be able to log into that account and be like,
Yeah.
but what that also does, that makes you lazy.
Comfortable. It does.
Yeah, that makes you lazy.
Yeah.
So what I would do personally, I would take that money and I would go buy assets. Because if you leave it sitting in the bank, if you ain't gonna use it, somebody else will.
You know that's right.
You
That's
know
what they
I mean?
do.
You know, the major the big hitters, the minute you put that $100,000 in that bank account, they hitting them up. Hey, you got any new developments coming up? You got any new business? What you got? We got this money or this food and just put $100,000 in the savings account.
Yeah.
Can you come get this food money and go make some more money and then give us our little piece?
Golly.
They finessing your money.
That's
Yeah.
happening.
That's happening
Yeah.
right now.
And what's
That's
crazy
it.
is they're putting in insurance iniquities. Are
Yep.
they not?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Insurance. They're
That's
putting in
where
real
banks,
estate.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's where most of their assets are held, or in insurance policies.
That's so crazy. So you would just tell them, well, I know you got a couple of, but just to give some people some content, what is some good thing? Like, give us like two. Because I'm actually kind of curious. Like two things. Like, what would you put your money in today?
I would take
$100,000.
I would take that $100,000 and I would go find me a deal. I would go find me a deal to fix and flip, and turn around and put that because now you have your money, you have your construction costs, you have your fixed costs, right?
Got
Right.
you.
Put that money into a property where you can go and net a 20 ball, a 30 ball. You know what I mean?
That's what
and
yeah.
replace
Flip it.
replace that money and put it back in there.
I'm
If you
cool
have the
with that.
time.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
If you have the time. If you don't have the time, go become the bank to somebody else.
That.
You know what I mean? Because everybody's looking for money. You have the $100,000. Go become the bank to somebody else, and let the person that have the time to go flip it, go let them flip it. If it's a long term play, like my boy, he about to have a kid, just got married, doesn't have any debt. He's already leaving the money in the bank. He's a very modest living guy. He don't like flashy cars. He don't like expensive jewelry. None of that stuff. Man, divvy that money up. Take that money up to Michigan. Take that money up to certain parts of Illinois.
All right, so hold on. So one more time for the people that might have missed it, and it was trying to find their notes. $100,000. You're gonna go in. Now, let me ask you this about the hunt. Do we use the same all the 100 grand to go on one flip, or can we take? Because with the hard money, it's a percentage down. Can we do 2 hard money loans
You got 2 projects?
and do 2 projects,
I mean, you can.
or do we do our? Would you rather say, I'm gonna chill on the 12% interest, use my whole 100, and I'm my own bank to finance my flip?
No, I mean, if I say I'm using my whole 100, the type of return that I'm going to make is going to make sense. I mean, it's a few different ways you can skin that, right?
Yeah.
Because if you have 2 projects going, chances are you got double the return,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, I mean, it's leveraging that $100,000. You're making that you're cutting that $100,000 up.
Yeah.
Any which way.
Yeah.
That $100,000 could have 3 or 4 different properties going, depending on where you're at.
Yeah.
Right. You know, maybe not in DFW, but maybe in
Detroit.
In Detroit, maybe
yeah.
maybe in Killeen, Texas,
Oh.
maybe in Mahia. You know what I mean? Maybe in Waco, Texas.
Okay.
You know, so you just have to be able to know, like, you know, what's your plan with that. You know, you could take that $100,000 and divvy it up, and you have 20% down for multiple homes, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be able to put, you know, money in your pockets on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
You know, with rental income, and you're building equity in those properties. So it just depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
What's your appetite?
I think the ultimate thing is that with that money, whatever you do with it, it needs the wisest thing to do is to put it into another income producing asset.
Yeah.
Period. Regardless, because everybody may not be an investor. I mean, we're talking our lane, you know, real estate. That's our lane. But that's why I threw out the life insurance, because most people I'm talking to, if they have money like that, they're not thinking to go do a project.
Yeah,
So
go
those
for it.
Hold on
alternatives.
to it as much as tight
Yeah,
as they can.
they really,
right?
they really, or they won't even just put it in the market, which they, you know, we got to educate. You got to educate.
Right.
Jake Grimes is one of them cats I would love to play Monopoly with. Oh my God.
Oh man.
That would be
The longest game ever.
Oh,
Probably.
It would never stop.
Hotels on every block.
I'm trying to tell you.
Golly.
I'm trying to tell you. And it's so funny, man. My house, everybody, you know, my daughters, my wife, they're all as vicious as I am.
That's cool.
I mean, not the oldest. She's the money doesn't really matter, but wants the most money. Needs the
Always
most
the
money.
one.
It's always the one that won't need the most money.
Yeah.
Just, oh, money. Why is everything always about money? Like,
Well,
yeah,
keep
but
living.
same sentence. Asking me for some money, but yeah.
but can I have some?
But can I have some? Right.
I would, so in the real estate game and compare it to Monopoly, what cities are the colors? What y'all thinking? So obviously New York and New York is the blue because that's Boardwalk. Would Detroit be like the brown ones?
Well, you got
Because
Might be the-
my
might
boy
be
said
the-
my boy said he bought a property. I said, bro, you bought a duplex in Detroit for $12 grand.
those are olden days.
Oh, it went up.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm in Detroit a lot. I'll actually be in Detroit next week.
Okay.
Not next week, the week after.
You looking for property? out there?
No, I do a good bit of business up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. Some investors that came, they got some plans. for
Yeah,
Detroit.
Detroit. I've been hearing about.
It's not as cheap as it used to be.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
said-
the lick it used to be.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, now Ohio, over there in Ohio, Cleveland,
Okay,
Toledo.
still-
Yeah, you know, but because I mean, no offense to my people up, and I love the D. So my Detroit people, where the camera at? Please.
What up, though?
What up, though? Like, I'm with you, man. If I had my bus right now, man, I'll put them on for you. But I'll tell you this here, man. It's not a pretty place.
Yeah,
You know what I
Detroit
mean?
is.
It's very industrial.
Yeah.
Very
It's very
industrial.
industrial, you know what I mean? But somebody's coming and putting some money in there. I don't know who it is, but those
making
prices
moves.
have
Really?
started ticking up.
Yeah, because my partner said, well, this is about 3 years ago. He said, bro, I went out there and bought a duplex for $12 grand. He showed me a picture of it. I'm like,
Yeah.
how?
Yeah.
3 years
You,
ago.
you got the whole.
And it turned that quick.
Look at that. That's what I'm just saying. You see how the market, and that's why it's important to get in where you fit in. Just get in where you fit in. Like I said earlier in another episode, it's like you buy real estate and you wait. If that's what if you're not going to flip it, you buy it and you wait, because 9 times out of 10, it's going to go up. So
Yeah.
Hey,
We're trending up.
The best time to buy real estate was yesterday.
you
The
got
second
it.
best time is today.
You got it. That's so true. That's so true.
For real.
Yeah.
For real. So let me ask you a question before we get out of here, D. In this market right now, you got yourself with obviously some great ways for people to go ahead and get the insurance products that you have, because you have several products.
Correct.
So when you talk to somebody, you're basically kind of telling them which product that you would advise to get or qualify for.
Mm-hmm.
And the hard money piece, because you're doing both and balancing them both.
Mm-hmm.
How would you educate the people that's looking right now to do immediate and massive action? Because a lot of people are just playing with this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
What would be the best advice to say, okay, this is something practical that you can do here in the next couple of weeks to get you ready to be in a good space when it comes to stuff that you do and you offer?
So I'm really about legacy building, and legacy building, for everyone, they might have a slight different meaning, but my biggest concern is not only legacy building for your family when it comes to wealth generation, but protection of the assets that we acquire, because we work hard. We work hard to get these things.
Right on.
And so, again, not everybody is on the investor side or the investor path. And so the biggest thing is creating that peace of mind for your family. Mm-hmm. That's the big thing. So what does that look like for you? If that means that you need to diversify what you have in place so that you can make sure that when your time comes, that your money is, that your debts and everything that you have in place, if you have any, or whatever educational expenses for your children that haven't gone to college yet, or the mortgage that hasn't been paid off yet, or the income that would be lost if you were to pass, I think that's the key. I think our lives are the most valuable asset. And so it starts with that. I really definitely encourage that as the number one protection. And then from there, based on what their whole financial portfolio looks like, where do you put the additional funds? Where are we going to have that money grow? And then how much time will that money last? Is this lifetime money that will never run out? Or do you have a fear that one day it could possibly run out because unexpected health issues can wipe out a bank account?
Man.
And so that's the advantage of life insurance. You can file a claim on your life insurance if you have the accelerated benefit rider on your policy, or what we call living benefits. You can actually file a claim on that policy while you're living to get that money accelerated to you to offset those expenses. And so I think that's the foundation. The foundation is life insurance. And then from there, then we say, okay, your emergency fund. Make sure you have an emergency fund. Mm-hmm. And then next would be your real estate. Make sure you have a place to live and a roof over your house for sure. Mm-hmm. And then lastly would be, divvy it up in some crypto and stocks and whatever.
Yeah.
That would be next.
That's a good play.
Absolutely.
Jay Grimes, we've got a room full of entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. It's about a good 100 of us, and we all serious. We all trying to get it. Mm-hmm. But we really didn't have a big brother like you to kind of educate us on, and everybody in here just got an apartment.
Okay.
Because we ain't know no better, right?
Right.
Or we don't know we could even qualify for some of the stuff. Mm-hmm. You got a room full of us right now. What would you tell us to do? And we all want to get a crib, but we all probably are not bank ready, if you will. Mm-hmm. So before we could get to you, mm-hmm. what would you tell us? All right, before y'all come over here, get this right.
Right.
What are the plans and steps of action?
First thing, pay them people. Pay your bills. Everybody always want to know credit repair. What we can do about credit repair? How can I fix my credit? Pay them people. Pay your bills on time. Because I live off of 3 pillars, right? 3 pillars. If you can get 2 out of the 3, you can get a home. The 3 pillars is your credit, your income, your money you got in savings, right? So if you don't have money in savings, you damn sure better have income. You better have credit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have income, you better have savings. You better have credit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can interchange any one of those.
That's good.
You can interchange any one of those, and you can get what you want, right? But starting off, you can control credit. You can control your credit.
Yeah.
I know there's some offsetting things that could happen. Sickness, accidents, injuries, whatever.
Yeah.
I get it.
Hell.
But control the controllables.
Yeah,
Control the
that's good.
controllables. Control the controllables. And as an entrepreneur, things are so up and so down, right? It's a real grind. Get into a property. Get into a property, because I know from my, I've lived in apartments before. I've been down to my very last. And guess what? If you 3 days late, that little 3-day grace period give you.
Oh yeah.
Knock, knock, knock.
Pink slip.
Come on. hey, big homie, I need you to get on out of here.
Yeah, come on out of there.
Come on, y'all. But you know what? You have a little bit more leverage when you got a home.
Yeah.
Right.
It takes a long time for them to foreclose on your
That's a
property.
fact.
And if you're a real hustler, if you're a real entrepreneur, you're going to figure that out before you even get to that point.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You understand
for
what I
sure.
mean? Because nothing worse than trying to build a business and trying to be homeless.
That.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Boy.
So get you a property. Don't skip the steps. Everyone don't need to go get the $6, $7, $8 million property on your first go around. Go get you something you can afford.
Yeah.
Easily. By yourself. Not with a boyfriend, not with a girlfriend, not with a husband, not with a wife. Something that you can afford by yourself. Build some equity in that property and then upgrade later on. Right? But if you want to be into a property, so many things are up and down when you, in entrepreneurship. But you need to have something that keeps you whole and keep you, when you get home, you can put your head on your couch
That's right.
Yeah.
or on your pillow and just
Yeah.
say,
Your safe
all right,
haven.
this mine.
Yep.
Yeah.
This mine.
I love
this
that.
mine. Let me regroup.
That's
Let
good.
me cry in this pillow by myself.
For sure.
But then I'm back at it tomorrow.
That's
That's
it.
right.
I'm back at it tomorrow. You
I
feel
love
me?
that.
You
Yeah.
know, so it's just like it's the sense of ownership. You know, it's one thing though. You know, I know everyone. You have the Grant Cardones and all these big time guys. You know, you should rent your primary residence, and you're not a billionaire. Shut up.
Right.
Buy a house, man.
Cash is trash.
Cash
Yeah,
is trash and blah 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 blah. Right? But you know, by being an entrepreneur, man, having the property, like we said earlier, it's your piggy bank. It's your comfort blanket. It's so many different things that you are able to do with that property. So one, make sure your credit's good. Two, keep your money. Don't move your money around a lot. I know
Right.
people like to put in this bank account, and think you're doing something. Leave that money alone. Because when you do come to someone like myself, you're gonna drive us crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
We're all, we got to figure out this, and we're trying to figure out
What's
this trail
that
of
paper
money.
trail? Yeah. Was it a 12-month look back or how?
12 months typically.
Okay.
But if you're doing the normal traditional way, it's literally only 60 days.
Yeah.
You know, if you're W-2, 1099, or you just
Banks
have
love W-2.
oh,
Yeah, they do.
oh my God.
Banks love
easy
W-2.
peasy.
Oh, yeah.
It's stability.
It is.
It's stability.
But entrepreneurs, bro.
They give you
Man,
a hard
they-
time. And that's the thing. When I was a realtor and I would come into contact with entrepreneurs or business owners that wanted to buy a home, kind of similar to what you were saying. And I'd say, okay, so let's talk about your taxes. I'm not a mortgage lender.
Right.
But, you know, you may make a lot of money, but all those write-offs, they're going to go back 2 years. And so if you don't have it showing, then we need to start today with claiming that money. Because even though you can afford the $500,000 house, you may only on paper afford a $150,000.
And let me give you some game.
What's
and
that?
Let me give you a free one right
What
here.
you got?
I already
'Cause
know what you're about to say.
Everybody know you need 2 years, right?
Uh-huh.
If you've been in business 5, you only need 1 year of tax returns.
Really? 5 years. 5 years in business.
If your CPA or your tax preparer will put on their letterhead that you've been in business for 5 years and you have proof that your business has been established for 5 years, on a conventional loan, you can get away with only showing 1 year.
What
tax
is talking
returns.
Yeah.
Is that new?
No,
Look.
you just gotta know a thing or two, man.
Look. You got to know who to talk
You
to.
try to keep the nuggets in the
Look.
back
I
pocket.
never do
He
that.
giving free game
Hey,
right
look,
here.
man, if you talk to me, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Look, that's
You know?
awesome. See, I'm not in that space.
Yeah,
That's
that's
good to
good,
know.
though.
I didn't know that. And I'm
Yeah.
not a realtor anymore either, so I don't.
Jeez, that was a
That's
whole bar.
super dope. Good to
That was
know.
a bar. Along with that other bar, I hope y'all didn't miss it. 12 months bank statements. That's a big one.
Yeah. The paper trail.
That's new.
What's that?
Well,
paper
new-ish.
trail.
The 12 months of bank statements?
Yeah, that
Oh.
new-ish.
Newish. Yeah,
Ish.
newish.
It's been out for a
but
minute.
here's another one though. A P&L, you know your profit and loss. You can get a deal done with your profit and loss, just showing what your CPA, showing what you making, what you're trending to make, what you made, and blah blah blah, and you could do it with your P&L. It's called a P&L loan, a profit and loss loan,
Wow.
But what else? P&L and what?
and 2 months of your bank statements,
Banks, of course, credit score.
and credit score, of course, and down payment, right?
And what's the threshold credit score?
In those cases, typically a 680.
Okay.
typically at 680.
Yeah, y'all heard 680 a couple times. So if you're at the 620 mark, bruh,
You got work to do.
Yeah,
go ahead
got a little
and
work
get
to do.
that thing up.
Yeah, got a little work to do.
Yeah.
Pay them people.
Yeah, pay them people.
Pay them people.
Pay them people.
Well, shout out to you, man. Thank you for hanging out with us, man.
No, I
we
appreciate
learned a
you guys
lot
having
me.
at the
Yes,
Level
thank
Up
you.
Alliance
Good stuff.
podcast. Congratulations, D. Garrett, on the
Thank
amazing
you.
podcast.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And
That's
Jay
awesome.
Grimes, thank you so much for hanging out with us and sharing your wealth and knowledge, man. And appreciate you coming by. I hope you come back to the studio to your brother's podcast.
Yeah, no, man. Man, come
One
on.
day.
Hey, look, we got it on camera now. You put it into play, and I'll be here.
I
You know what
love
I'm
it.
saying?
You know
Shout
what I mean?
out to I feel
Hold
some
me to the
type of way.
fire. Hold me to the fire.
Golly.
Thanks for coming, Jay Grimes.
Of course.
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
it's a
Shout out to
pleasure meeting you.
everybody. Like, share, and subscribe. One time again, D. Garrett, Jay Grimes, and the other hosts, Dream Motivates. Like, share, subscribe. Keep God first, and we out of here.
Peace.